this team.
They were brilliant, all right?
AGT Fantasy League, January 1st on NBC and Peacock.
You're early. Extended Family, January 2nd on NBC.
Soki Ice Rink, sponsored by Wiesman Orthodontics, is back for a season of frozen fun. Now open at Soki Marketplace Pavilion in downtown Bowling Green. Check out the event calendar on Facebook or SokiIce.com. Happy holidays and happy skating. Severe weather can happen at any moment. WNKY News 40 Weather is here to prepare you before the storm hits. On air, online, and on your phone, News 40 keeps you safe and weather aware. Severe weather coverage powered by Buck Electric.
Well, good evening, everyone. Chris Allen here for News 40 at 10 as we get your Monday evening started. After a few flurries today, just still some clouds lingering over the area, even downtown Bowling Green. The flurries are just about out of the picture now. Last 4 hours showing the remaining snow flurries, really just small flurries, starting to filter away, and skies are beginning to clear back to the west. Temperatures have started to fall rapidly now into the upper 20s to low 30s, and still with a little bit of a breeze from the northwest at 5 to 10, even 15 miles per hour. We've started to see feels like temperatures dropping into the teens and 20s. Tonight, overall, we're going to see a clear night with a low of 19. The rest of your 7-day forecast coming up.
Good evening, I'm Noah Fairburn. Thanks for joining us tonight for News 40 at 10. For our top story tonight, let's actually send things on over to News 40's Cole Scott for a brief preview of sports.
Thanks, Noah. We have plenty coming up in sports tonight, but our top story was the famous Toastery Bowl, where WKU pulled off one of the craziest bowl victories of all time, taking down Old Dominion in Charlotte. In that game, former South Warren State champion quarterback Caden Beltkamp got the opportunity to run things for the Tops, and he didn't disappoint. News 40 Sports' Patrick Carey breaks down one of the greatest bowl wins in program history. Plus, WKU women's hoops look to defend home court tonight. That's all in sports. Noah?
All right, Cole. One more local news now. Over the weekend, the Glasgow Police Department got a report of a burglary at the Southgate Plaza Houchins store. According to the department, there were signs of forced entry through the back door, and the suspect or suspects were also able to make away with some cash after locating drawers that were put up for the night. The department said it was in the early morning hours of Friday, December 15th. Scottsville had some break-ins as well within the same time frame, and Glasgow police say it's been a trend during the years for miscreants to make more than one stop.
Right now, we are following up with, taking leads from private citizens. We also reached out to Scottsville Police Department, the Metcalfe County Sheriff Department. We're all working together to try to solve this case and hopefully prevent any future burglaries or break-ins.
Scottsville police reported that in their town, McDonald's was burglarized as well. The thieves took some money but failed to obtain any cash at a First Bank ATM and the Food Lion that they broke into. If you have any information, you are encouraged to reach out to either the Scottsville Police Department, Glasgow Police Department, or the Metcalfe County Sheriff's Office. The Barron County School District is looking to fight food insecurity just in time for the holiday season. News 40's Michael Ridgway spent some time at Barron County High School this weekend, where staff were preparing for deliveries to BCSD families.
You know, a lot of our families come in and volunteer and do a variety of things throughout the year, and Christmas can be very stressful. So this is just a way for us just to demonstrate, like I said, that love and to give something back.
In the wee hours of the morning, Barron County staff members are up doing their part to show the school system cares, even when school isn't in session. A service that can go a long way for some families.
Actually, 1 in 4 students eat their last meal at school every day, and that's a statistic that's specific to Barron County. And so if you think about that, 25% of our population is having breakfast and lunch at school, and then they're going home and not eating breakfast and lunch until the next day at school. So when you think about a Christmas break, that's a long time to go and be food insecure.
But overall, this program is an act of love.
And I try to make sure that that is the very first thing that I say. This has not got anything to do with whether you can or you cannot. It's not about the have or the have-nots. It's about giving something back and not letting us miss out on a blessing. We want to give something back. We want to bless you and your family. Maybe you don't need it, but maybe you know a neighbor or an elderly or a shut-in person or another family that maybe we haven't, we failed to think about that could use it.
The food drive, started years ago by the biomedical science students at Barron County, has gone on to foster a lot of emotions in the community.
I think the most impactful thing of this project is not only being able to deliver food to families, but also giving our students the opportunity to give back to their community. My students specifically, they've made various comments to me over the last 2 weeks of how helpful and how beneficial they think this project is. Students here at Barron County, I really think that they take care of our own.
In Barron County, because local matters, Michael Ridgway, WNKY News 40.
Moving to state news now. If you plan on selling your vehicle anytime soon, you might want to listen up as changes are coming when it comes to your license plate. According to the Barron County Clerk's Office, starting in 2024, people that sell or trade in their cars should take their standard license plate off the car and keep it instead of selling it or trading it along with the car.
And this is a great thing because folks, a lot of times when they come in to transfer their vehicle, they've already renewed for the year. So they're losing months worth of a registration they've already paid for, and the new owner gets that. So I think folks across Kentucky are going to be happy with this change.
For more details on the changes coming to license plates across the Commonwealth, visit our website. That's WNKY.com. Sticking with state news and following a proclamation from the White House, Governor Andy Beshear has ordered all flags at state office buildings be lowered to half-staff. The flags will be lowered to honor the life of former Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor and will be at half-staff from sunrise to sunset tomorrow. O'Connor was the first woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court and passed away at the age of 93 on December 1st. That was a look at some of tonight's top stories. Now let's send things on over to Weather Chief Chris Allen for a look at our forecast.
Well, we still have a few flurries. The radar showing just trace amounts of some light snow flurries still flying across the area. Now, most of this is north 65, and as you head up toward the E-Town area, maybe even parts of Grayson County, Hardin County, on up toward Bardstown and Nelson County. Even though it shows some flurries trying to move into Bowling Green, this is the last of all of that, and skies will begin to clear as we go through the overnight hours, and that is when we're going to find temperatures dropping into the teens tonight. And then, how about your Christmas holiday? I've got the forecast for that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, to health news now. For many, it may seem like a no-brainer to look for medical information on the internet or even on social media. But in many cases, that information may not be accurate or even true. News 40 reporter Tucker Covey has more on the story.
My name is Dr. Heather Felton. I am a board-certified pediatrician.
At Norton Children's Hospital in Louisville, Dr. Heather Felton has started giving sound medical advice via TikTok in order to fight medical misinformation online.
This is the direction that we're going in, at least for right now. And so we can try to push back on it and probably be unsuccessful, but we can also embrace it. And so that's why I'm on social media. That's why I talk to other healthcare providers about putting good information on social media so that it can be there for people when they go there to look for it.
This sort of if you build it, they will come mindset has led her to amass a sizable following and has given more people access to sound medical advice for free.
I think it's a lot of fun personally. It's a chance to be very creative and you can interact with people. It's also nice because there are talks that I give in an exam room like this 30 times a day, but I can record that little conversation, that spiel that I usually give, and it can get 30,000 views in a day.
Felton wants more medical professionals to use the tools available to them online by putting out sound, fact-checked information for people to use in their day-to-day lives to hit back at misinformation.
If you are in healthcare, liking, sharing, posting, commenting on those kinds of videos, even if you aren't making content, can also help to push that information out to more people. And so all of us working together can help to disseminate good healthcare information out to the public.
In South Central Kentucky, because local matters, Tucker Covey, WNKY News 40.
Consumer news now, a couple of food recalls you need to be aware of. The United States Department of Agriculture is alerting consumers to a massive chicken recall. Simmons Prepared Foods Incorporated is recalling more than 26,000 pounds of TGI Fridays boneless chicken bites products. The products may be contaminated with pieces of clear, hard plastic. There have been no reports of injuries, though. The chicken bites items were produced on October 3rd and were shipped to retail locations nationwide. The recall covers 15-ounce cartons of TGI Fridays boneless chicken bites, honey barbecue chicken flavor. The severe weather we've been seeing on the East Coast recently has caused problems at major airports just ahead of the Christmas travel rush, while Southwest Airlines has agreed to pay a huge fine after its holiday meltdown last year. Tom Costello is at Reagan National Airport with the details.
In the radar crosshairs today, some of the nation's busiest airports. Boston Logan, hardest hit, with 20% of flights canceled following FAA ground stops and delays. New York JFK, LaGuardia, Chicago O'Hare, and Atlanta feeling the ripple effect of the rain and wind.
I have to fly, so just do what I have to do to get home.
Instead of going from Charlotte, North Carolina to Florida, we're going to Dallas, Texas, and then to Florida.
Today's storm, a stress test before a record 39 million people start flying Wednesday through January 2nd. And coming the same day, Southwest Airlines agreed to pay the biggest government fine ever, $140 million, 30 times bigger than previous airline delay fines, for its massive meltdown last Christmas that started with a snowstorm in Denver, then crippled Southwest operations nationwide. 17,000 flights canceled, 2 million passengers affected, many stranded for days, unable to reach Southwest agents, get quick refunds, or lost luggage. $90 million of that mega fine will fund vouchers for future passengers affected by future flight disruptions.
It's not just about holding Southwest accountable, but really shaping better choices across the industry for the future so that something like this can't happen again.
Today, Southwest said we learned from the event with subsequent investment, realizing a vast improvement toward our resiliency, new de-icing and computer systems. Southwest CEO promises there will be no repeat of the Christmas 2022 debacle.
We've invested in trucks and new pads and staffing and technology. We are ready for winter.
The nation's biggest low-cost carrier now paying the price for promising a schedule it couldn't fly. Tom Costello, NBC News, Washington.
Still to come on News 40 at 10, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with the Israeli Prime Minister as top U.S. officials work to restart hostage negotiations. The latest details in just a bit, but first, Weather Chief Chris Allen has a full look at our forecast. You got a great view of downtown Bowling Green, but we saw snow flurries today. Is that all we're going to see? Find out right after this.
The competition is on.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy? Weeknights at 6 on NBC 40.
I'm Ashley Wilson. Here's what's coming up tomorrow on News 40 Sunrise. See how you can change the life of one shelter animal in our daily pet of the day. Plus, find out what the Pie Queen of Bowling Green has baking up for us in this week's Pie Queen's Pantry. These stories on News 40 Sunrise.
Bowling Green Fireplace and Grill.
Shop Fruit of the Loom Brand Shop Outlet for the best last-minute gift ideas this holiday. Plus, this week, save 25% off throughout the store. Find WKU and UK fan gear, sportswear, basketballs, and more, all 25% off through Christmas Eve.
Diversified Electrical is now hiring. Positions include electrician, electrician assistant, and job foreman. Pay range is $18 to $55 per hour. Insurance, holiday pay, vacation, and more great benefits available. Find out more at diversifiedelectrical.com.
My darling granddaughter, this camera was given to me when I was your age. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine.
It's so surprising what the little things can do. Wouldn't it be wonderful if everybody
Oh, Merry Christmas, Grandma.
When we hear that sound, the competition is on.
12,400.
Whoa, he's betting everything.
The stakes are high. The clock is ticking.
This is nerve-wracking.
Do you have what it takes for Jeopardy?
Weeknights at 6 on WNKY, NBC 40.
We're back with Weather Chief Chris Allen. Chris, the Hilltoppers obviously got a huge win today, and a lot of fans traveled down to Charlotte, but some of them may be wondering why they weren't in South Central Kentucky and saw what we saw today.
Yeah, I mean, well, there they've had a lot of heavy rain. Finally, that cleared out in time for the famous Toastery Bowl, which Western won, by the way,
yes.
in case you didn't know. We'll have more on that coming up in sports. In the meantime, back here at home, we've had a few just wispy snow flurries, snow showers the further north and east that you went across Kentucky, especially north of Louisville, Lexington, but here in Bowling Green, there have still been a few flurries just flying around here, but not that big of a deal. Now, where we have some things kind of freezing up overnight, we may want to watch for an icy spot or two tomorrow morning, especially on a bridge or an overpass. It is a small possibility, but just keep that in mind tomorrow morning. We went from 43 as our high today. 49 is where we should be for this time of the year. That 43, by the way, happened very early this morning. And so far, 36 has been our 24-hour low temperature at the Bowling Green Airport, a few degrees warmer than the average. So it's 33 right now. That'll probably be revised as far as the low temperature of the day to whatever low temperature we go tonight or just before midnight. Right now, the winds have been coming out of the west and southwest at 6. And look at that dew point at a very dry 18 degrees. That tells me how dry the atmosphere is, even though we're still seeing a few flurries flying around. It's a drier air that's coming in from our north and west that is going to take over tonight, scour out any clouds that are left over, and if any of you are still seeing those little snowflakes, they're going to get out of here as well as high pressure begins to take over for the next couple of days. In fact, it's going to settle right just to the south of Bowling Green during the day tomorrow, kind of sit right over us. Now, unfortunately, because of where it's positioned tomorrow, we're not going to warm up that much. We got to get on the backside of that high before we'll start to feel a southerly flow, and that is what will warm us up. That's likely to happen into Wednesday as more southerly breezes take over and everything starts to feel like it should this time of the year, which is more into the low to mid 50s. Eventually, as we get into late Wednesday afternoon and Thursday, we may see a few clouds approach. And Thursday is also, by the way, the first day of winter, December 21st, 9:27 p.m. Central Time, Thursday evening, shortest day of the year, the longest night. What happens after Thursday is each day gradually starts to get a little longer and a little longer until we get into spring, and then we're finally back to those times when it's not dark 30 in the afternoon. 19 tonight, clearing and very cold with a light northwest wind settling down a bit overnight. And then the 7-day forecast will take us on through the warmer times ahead, where we'll start to see some 50s and 60s as winter officially begins on Thursday. It's not going to feel like it. And then you see the rain, just rain that we're looking at right now, with warmer temperatures in the 60s for both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It's also going to be windy as well. We're back with more News 40 at 10 right after this.
Shop at Fireline Guns and Knives this Christmas. Check out our selection of firearms, knives, candles, coffee, concealed carry purses, and more. Follow us on Facebook for weekly deals and rebate offers. Fireline Guns and Knives in Glasgow.
The UPS store on Scottsville Road is your one-stop for personal and professional services. We offer printing, shipping and packing, notary, mailboxes, and much more. Locally owned and operated. The UPS store on Scottsville Road.
The Leachman Christmas Spectacular is officially back at Leachman Buick GMC. With your in-store vehicle purchase, take home a 55-inch smart TV. With incredible offers on all new and pre-owned inventory, drive home in your new Terrain for as low as $299 a month. Or check out all our deals on wheels at LeachmanAuto.com. And while it's fun to receive, we can't wait to give. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a 55-inch smart TV.
Enjoy a great lunch with a different food truck every week and help support our local charities.
Join us for Food Truck Fridays at the Tidballs parking lot on Chestnut Street. Part of your lunch purchase will be donated to a local nonprofit by Flora Templeton Stewart and our food trucks.
Food Truck Friday has collected over $10,000, making a difference in our community.
Brought to you by the law firm of Flora Templeton Stewart.
When tornadoes struck Kentucky, News 40 showed the recovery. When local schools held a future teacher signing day, News 40 was there.
I'd be the first in my family to go to college, the first in my family that if I work hard that I'd be able to graduate.
Glasgow hands out hope for the holidays. News 40 brings the story. As new storm shelters arrive in Bowling Green, News 40 has the details.
WNKY News 40, because local matters.
Tonight, the Republican frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, is drawing fierce criticism for his hateful comments about migrants over the weekend. CBS's Ed O'Keefe has more from the White House.
Former President Donald Trump's comments about immigrants came Saturday night in New Hampshire.
They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world.
President Biden's reelection campaign denounced the comments, saying Trump parroted Adolf Hitler. The Nazi leader criticized the mixing of races in his Mein Kampf, arguing the originally creative race died out from blood poisoning. The former president also praised authoritarian leaders, including Hungary's Viktor Orban, China's Xi Jinping, and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. CBS News has asked the Trump campaign for comment about the reaction to his remarks. Among Trump's GOP opponents, only former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie strongly rebuked him.
He's disgusting. And what he's doing is dog whistling to Americans who feel absolutely under stress and strain from the economy and from the conflicts around the world.
But Trump continues to dominate because GOP primary voters generally back the idea of mass deportations the former president supported and view immigration as a key issue.
Having a porous border is leading to a lot of problems. It's creating an unsafe environment for our citizens.
CBS News has learned last week the Border Patrol apprehended nearly 7,900 people each day, up from 6,000 in October. The White House now deep in negotiations with Congress. A compromise could include expelling migrants without processing their asylum claims and expanding the detention of migrants allowed to stay in the U.S., pending a decision on their cases. And now border state governors are taking aggressive steps to address illegal border crossings. In Texas, Republican Greg Abbott today signed legislation now permitting local and state police to arrest migrants suspected of being in the state illegally. And in Arizona, Democrat Katie Hobbs has deployed the National Guard to the border. Ed O'Keefe, CBS News, the White House.
Top U.S. officials are in the Middle East and Europe today working to restart hostage negotiations and move toward the next phase of the Israel-Hamas war. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as protesters are demanding action to free more than 100 hostages still held captive by Hamas. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
In the latest sign of the Biden administration stepping up its pressure on Israel to change its tactics in Gaza, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin meeting today with top Israeli officials. While he underscored steadfast U.S. support for Israel and said he was not there to dictate timelines, he did talk about the war moving to a different phase.
You're being more precise. You're being more focused on a specific target set.
It comes as U.S. officials are increasingly vocal about the devastating civilian death toll and spiraling humanitarian crisis in the Gaza Strip. Human Rights Watch now accusing the Israeli government of using starvation as a weapon of war. Israel insists it's trying to protect civilians and this weekend opened a new border crossing for humanitarian supplies, though the defense minister was adamant today.
We maintain the right to take all the actions necessary to defend our sovereignty and our citizens.
In Israel, growing protests for more action to free the remaining hostages after Israeli soldiers mistakenly shot and killed 3 hostages in Gaza, believed to have escaped from Hamas. The Israeli military released images of flags the hostages made, writing in Hebrew, "Help, 3 hostages." In an effort to broker freedom for those still in Hamas captivity, CIA Director William Burns meeting today in Warsaw, Poland, with Israeli and Qatari officials, a U.S. official told NBC News. It's the first known meeting of the group since last month's week-long ceasefire, when roughly 100 hostages were released and humanitarian aid flowed into Gaza. On Capitol Hill, Senate negotiators meeting again today on that massive national security package that ties funding for Israel and Ukraine to the U.S. southern border. The two sides say they are making progress but remain far apart on key immigration policy issues. Hard to see how they might find a way to a deal before the end of the year. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
When we come back, Cole Scott is in with a look at your sports.
Holiday shopping starts at the Purple Door, specializing in cute and comfortable clothing, shoes, and accessories. Fashion has never been easier. And with sizes from petite to plus, there's no reason to shop anywhere else this season. The Purple Door on Lovers Lane and Bowling Green.
There are so many different ways that you can volunteer at Hope Harbor. I am a part of the fundraising committee. I'm a hospital advocate, so I'm able to be there for those survivors. There is no one else that does this type of work like we do when we go to the hospitals and support those survivors.
The work that I do through Hope Harbor means really everything to me. Being a survivor myself, the organization allows me to provide the care and the support that I wasn't afforded.
There are so many ways to help Hope Harbor accomplish their mission, ending sexual violence.
BG Home Furnishings is the best place to shop and work. We stay motivated with daily massages.
It is just like the North Pole around here. Santa and his elves are delivering daily. We could make a calendar out of our delivery team. Meet Mr. November, always smiling and ready to deliver your sofa. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a locally owned and operated business. We are so thankful for the continued support of our community.
Feel overwhelmed and want to give your family an amazing Christmas? People's Cash Advance is now offering loans up to $500. No fee on first-time loans. Locations in Bowling Green. People's Cash Advance.
Shopping local for the holidays just got easier. WNKY wants to give you a chance at over $100 in gift cards to local businesses. Enter today at WNKY.com/contests. Because local matters.
This December, Kelly's all new. The holidays are in full swing with merry guests. Do you get into Christmas?
Yes.
When I say I decorate for Christmas, I'm slightly unhinged. And all the festivities. We're hooking everyone in the audience up. It's a Holly Jolly Kelly. Oh my God, this is dangerous. I do not need another dog.
Weekdays at 3 on NBC 40. WNKY News 40 is always on at WNKY.com.
Well, welcome into sports. I am here in Charlotte, North Carolina after one of the craziest football games I think I've ever seen in person. I've got my toast ready. I'm ready to break down the first ever and the one and only famous Toastery Bowl as the Tops stunned Old Dominion after getting down 28-7. In overtime. WKU entered the ball game today without numerous key starters like Austin Reed, Quantavious Leslie, Upton Stout, and Marquise Stepp. The lack of experience showed early as the Tops found themselves down 21-0 just 5 minutes into the game, but this team showed the country one of the most impressive comebacks. Former South Warren quarterback Caden Veldkamp entered early in the first quarter and never looked back. Veldkamp finished the night with 383 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Here's what head coach Tyson Helton and Veldkamp had to say after the win.
You know, I talk about it all the time. I said everybody gets a turn. Be ready when it's your turn. And Caden Veldkamp was ready when it was his turn tonight. And it's extremely hard. It's extremely hard to come back from that kind of deficit when you're the backup quarterback running out there. So it was pretty special to see tonight.
Yeah, I told these guys, like, we're going to win the game. As soon as I win, I said, we're going to win. Not a question, we're going to win the game. Took to the very last play to do it. But, you know, it's because of the guys around me. These guys played unreal. The offensive line was great protection. I think I took 2 sacks, and both of them were my fault. Threw some okay balls to Dalvin that he just plucks with one hand. So these guys around me, they played well. And, the defense just kept getting stops, kept giving us opportunities. So, all credit to these guys, man. I love these boys.
And for the second year in a row, Glasgow native Dalvin Smith put on a show in WKU's bowl game. Smith finished with 9 catches for 77 yards and 3 touchdowns, including 2 top 10 worthy snags. After the win, Smith shared his thoughts after another big performance.
We always know, we're usually only one game on TV that day. So, I just put that in my mindset, everybody in America is watching me, so go put on a show. And that's what I did the past 2 years.
WKU has now won 4 bowl games in the last 5 years, and I think it's safe to say that this one was probably the most memorable.
Well, thanks, Patrick. Another team on the Hill was in action tonight in Diddle Arena. The Lady Toppers looked to end their losing streak as they went up against Abilene Christian Wildcats. They did just that behind a strong fourth quarter where the Tops outscored the Wildcats 28-14. And Coach Collins' squad got back into the win column tonight, taking this one 72-68. They'll be back in action on Wednesday afternoon as they take on Nevada in the Missouri State Classic. And the other WKU basketball team was in action over the weekend, going up against Austin Peay. The Tops pulled out a thrilling 65-64 win as Don McHenry led the team once again with 16 points, and this effort earned him Conference USA Player of the Week. After getting their 5th straight victory, head coach Steve Lutz spoke on how he felt about the close win.
Yeah, I don't think there's any ugly wins, guys. So wins are beautiful to me. We celebrate every single one of them. Division I wins, Division II wins. We celebrate every single one of them.
And that's a look at sports. We'll be right back after this break.
I'm attorney Deborah Brose. I am committed to my clients across South Central Kentucky. But don't just take it from me. If you have any trouble receiving Social Security benefits, call our office today for a free consultation.
Toyotathon is on. Time to make the holidays picture perfect with a new Toyota. We're gonna need a bigger tree.
Toyota is offering $1,000 APR cash on new gas model 24 Highlanders. Toyota, let's go places.
Start your day off with Rich Pond Market and Deli. With a wide selection of breakfast favorites and our world-famous tenderloin biscuits, you'll be sure to dig the pig, where the community comes to meet and eat. Rich Pond Market and Deli.
Right now, a brand new move-in ready Jayco home is more affordable than you might think. Jayco Homes has the gift of a low 5.5% 30-year fixed interest rate that's guaranteed for the life of your loan. You'll enjoy open, spacious living, and your home will be protected with our exclusive 210 home warranty, backed by our full-time service department. Find your dream home today at jagohomes.com. Yes, you really can be home for the holidays.
December, Kelly's all new. This is dangerous. I do not need another dog.
Weekdays at 3 on NBC 40.
Don't miss this week's episode of the Pie Queen's Pantry. We're going to be taking my classic pecan pie and putting a Christmas spin on it. See you this week on the Pie Queen's Pantry.
Tune in for my new game show, Person, Place, or Thing. Hopscotch. Someone came to play.
On WNKY, NBC 40.
Well, obviously, we had the big Tops win today in the famous Toastery Bowl. The Lady Toppers come back. Hilltopper basketball winning over the weekend. Everybody's winning in the Hilltopper country today.
Yeah, this win by the Tops in the Toastery Bowl has got to be, what, historic? There's no other way to put it.
It was a huge game. I think it came out that said it was the biggest comeback bowl win since 2003.
Wow. And
it was, of course, led by quarterback Caden Veltkamp, who really hasn't got a shot at all this year and in his career with WKU. But, some circumstances led to him getting on the field today and him getting to show his talents off. And now Hilltopper fans love the guy.
Yeah.
He led this team to what seemed like it was going to be a huge loss. and it ended up being a huge comeback win. So big day for the Tops and Hilltopper Nation.
Yeah, I remember looking at the stats from earlier. The third quarter with about 3 minutes or so left, Old Dominion had a 99% chance to win the game, according to the ESPN's graph. And then WKU just pulled that, came back from 35 to 14 down.
Amazing.
It's unreal. It's unreal.
Way to go, Tops.
Yes.
That's
well,
awesome.
Chris, I mean, we got some good weather to go along with it.
That was hot. This is cold.
There you go.
Tonight, 19, clearing, and very cold. Just get ready for it, because it's here.
Hey, we got to balance it out, right? The Tops heating it up on the field. We got to have some cooler weather going around here. Yeah. All right, well, that does it for tonight's edition of News 40 at 10. Join us back here tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for News 40 Sunrise. Have a good night.
Welcome to the Tonight Show.